Have you ever wondered how your phone can create images you've never seen before, or write emails better than you? It's not magic, it's generative AI, and it's already changing the way we live and work, whether you realize it or not. Welcome to another powerful lesson from Qasberry, where tech meets clarity. Let's dive into the world of generative AI. And trust me, this is where the future begins. So, what exactly is generative AI? At its core, generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that doesn't just analyze or recognize data, it creates new content. We're talking about text, images, music, code, even videos. It learns patterns from existing data and then uses that knowledge to produce something original. Can you imagine a machine writing poetry or generating a business plan? That's the power of generative AI. But how is it different from traditional AI? Well, traditional AI is like a calculator. It follows logic, it classifies, it detects, it predicts based on rules or data you've given it. Generative AI, it's more like a creative partner. It doesn't just recognize cats in photos. It can draw a cat in a superhero costume if you ask it. Doesn't that shift your perspective a bit? Let's bring this home. Where do we use generative AI daily? You may not realize it, but chances are, you're already using it. When Gmail suggests a reply, that's AI. When ChatGPT helps you draft an email, that's generative AI in action. Instagram filters, TikTok effects, voice clones, it's all around you, and it's just getting started. But how does it work? Generative AI is powered by something called machine learning models, often trained on massive datasets. Think of it like this. The more examples you give a child, the better they get at drawing or writing. AI is the same. It looks at patterns across billions of words, images, or sounds, and then learns how to reproduce or remix them. Ever wonder how an AI knows what a sunset over the ocean with a neon skyline looks like? It's seen thousands, maybe millions, of examples during training. Creepy or just genius? Now, let's talk about the types of content generative AI can produce. You'll be shocked at the variety. We have text generation, like ChatGPT writing stories or essays. Image generation, like Midjourney or DALL creating stunning visuals. Audio generation, like AI producing music or cloning voices. Even code generation, helping developers write software faster. And yes, video generation is already here. Have you seen AI-generated trailers or deepfakes that are almost impossible to detect? How far is too far? But here's the thing, it's not about replacing us, it's about amplifying us. The real question isn't, will AI take my job? It's, will I learn how to use AI to supercharge my work? In this first part, we've pulled back the curtain on what generative AI really is and how it's quietly transforming your everyday life. But that's just the beginning. In part 2, we'll look at the most popular AI models, real-world tools, ethical concerns, and why prompting is your key to unlocking the full potential of AI. You ready to become fluent in the future? Let's keep going. Have you ever wondered why the AI you use today feels so much more alive than the ones you used to know? Why does ChatGPT feel like a conversation partner, while your bank's chatbot still sounds like it came from 2008? In the last lesson, we introduced generative AI, the technology powering tools that can write, design, draw, speak, and even reason. But now let's break it down even further. What makes generative AI so different from the traditional AI we've known for decades? Why is this moment in AI history being called a revolution? Let's start by comparing the two. Traditional AI is what we call narrow or task-specific AI. It's built for one thing and one thing only. Think of a spam filter. It scans your email, looks for suspicious words or phrases, and marks them as junk. Simple, focused, rule-based. Other examples? Google Maps predicting traffic, Amazon's recommendation engine, facial recognition unlocking your phone. All of these are incredibly useful, but they don't create anything new. They analyze data and give responses based on what they've already seen. That's traditional AI. Now let's talk about generative AI. The clue is in the name. Generative, it generates. Instead of recognizing patterns only, it learns them deeply, then uses them to create entirely new content. Have you ever asked ChatGPT to write a poem or a business plan, asked Midjourney to draw a futuristic city, used 11 Labs to clone a voice or create one from scratch? That's not science fiction. That's generative AI in action. It's not just responding, it's composing. It's not pulling from a database, it's building things, live, in real time, using everything it's learned. Isn't that wild? But here's the real magic. You're already using it every day. Have you noticed Gmail finishing your sentences while you type? That's generative AI suggesting language based on your past messages. Ever use TikTok's voice filter to read your captions in a funny voice? That's generative AI in the audio world. What about AI photo enhancers that fix blurry images, or resume builders that write job descriptions for you? All of these tools are powered by generative AI models, working quietly behind the scenes. So even if you didn't realize it, you're already part of this new era. Now, let's zoom into the engine behind the curtain. How does generative AI actually work? It starts with something called a large language model, or LLM. This is a type of neural network inspired by the human brain, trained on massive datasets. And when we say massive, we mean mind-blowing amounts of data. ChatGPT, for example, was trained on billions of texts from books, websites, conversations, and code. This training helps the model understand grammar, tone, meaning, context, and even cultural nuance. But here's the twist. It doesn't just memorize. It learns the structure of language and logic, so that when you give it a prompt like, "Write me a love letter," as if Shakespeare was applying for a tech job, it can generate a brand new response, even though it has never seen that exact prompt before. That's the power of generative learning, and it's not limited to text. Other models can generate images like DALL or Midjourney, music like Suno or Boomi, voice like 11 Labs, and video like Sora and Runway ML. They all work on the same principle: learn from massive amounts of data, then generate something new based on your input. But let me ask you something. If these tools are so powerful, how do we make sure we use them well? Because here's the truth. A generative model is like a genie. It gives you what you ask for, but it's only as smart as your request. That's where prompting comes in, and we'll cover that in the next lesson. But for now, here's what you need to remember. Traditional AI follows rules. Generative AI creates the rules. Traditional AI analyzes. Generative AI imagines. That shift from reaction to creation is why this is bigger than any previous tech wave. You don't need to be a programmer to use it, you just need to know what to ask for, and that's what we're going to show you next. What if I told you the only thing standing between you and the full power of AI is the way you ask for it? By now, you already know that generative AI can create, not just process, and that it's working quietly in tools you use every day. But now, it's time to get even more practical. Let's explore what generative AI can actually create, the different types of content it generates, the tools that power them, and most importantly, how to use prompts to get the best results. So, what exactly can generative AI generate? Let's start with text, the most common. From blog posts to poems, product descriptions to resumes, tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini can write, rewrite, summarize, or expand nearly any kind of content. Then we have images, generated from pure imagination. With tools like Midjourney, DALL, and Leonardo AI, all you have to do is describe what you want, and AI brings it to life. Want a samurai standing in the rain, neon lights reflecting off his armor? Done. No design skills required. Next, we move to audio. AI like 11 Labs and Suno can generate music, clone voices, and even create podcasts or narrations from a script. And now, even video. Tools like Runway ML and Sora are pushing boundaries, turning text into full-motion scenes. We're entering an era where storytelling will be limited only by your creativity. But how do you control these tools? It all comes down to one thing: prompting. Have you ever typed something into ChatGPT and felt underwhelmed by the answer? That's not because the model is broken. It's because your prompt didn't tell it enough, or tell it right. Prompting is like giving directions to a world-class chef. The more specific and clear you are, the better the result. Let's try an example. Instead of saying, "Write a product description," try this. Write a persuasive product description for a smart home speaker targeted at working professionals. Keep the tone modern and informative. See the difference? There are also different types of prompting techniques. Zero-shot prompting, where you just ask the question with no example. Few-shot prompting, where you show the AI a few examples first. Chain-of-thought prompting, where you guide the AI step by step through reasoning. It's not just about asking. It's about asking intelligently. The better your prompt, the better the output. Let's bring it into the real world. A marketer uses prompting to generate ad copy in different tones. A teacher uses it to create multiple-choice quizzes from a textbook chapter. A business owner uses it to write proposal templates or customer service replies. These are real people using generative AI every day, not tech experts, just smart users. But with great power comes great responsibility, right? So let's talk about the limitations. Generative AI is not always accurate. It can hallucinate, meaning it can sound confident while being completely wrong. It doesn't truly understand, it predicts based on patterns, and it can reflect the biases in the data it was trained on. So, should we be afraid? But we must be aware. Use generative AI to brainstorm, create drafts, speed up workflows, but always double-check, especially when it comes to facts, numbers, and sensitive content. Use it as a collaborator, not a replacement for your thinking. At Qasberry, we believe that the best way to use AI is responsibly. Understand it, guide it, don't let it guide you blindly. Let's wrap up this lesson. So far, you've learned what generative AI is, how it's different from traditional AI, how it's already shaping your daily tools, what it can create, how to prompt it properly, and how to use it with wisdom. And guess what? This is just the beginning. In our next lesson, we'll take you even deeper into advanced prompting techniques, tool comparisons, and real-world workflows for productivity, business, and creativity. So if you're enjoying this, do one thing: subscribe to Qasberry, because the future belongs to those who understand the tools shaping it. And you're already ahead. Have you been paying attention? Let's find out. We're wrapping up with a quick quiz just for you. Think of it as a way to lock in everything you've learned today. Ready? Let's begin. Question 1. What is generative AI? Take a moment. Answer. Generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that creates brand new content, like text, images, music, and even code, based on what it has learned from large datasets. Question 2. How is generative AI different from traditional AI? Think about it. Answer. Traditional AI is task-specific. It follows rules and performs narrow functions, like facial recognition or spam detection. But generative AI can actually create, not just follow. It's imaginative, not just reactive. Question 3. Where do we use generative AI in everyday life? Give it a thought. Answer. Everywhere. From Instagram filters to TikTok effects, AI voiceovers, chatbots, auto-generated captions, and even personalized shopping experiences. Question 4. What kind of content can generative AI create? List a few in your mind. Answer. Text, images, music, videos, voice, code, and more. Question 5. What's a prompt in generative AI? Got it? Answer. A prompt is the instruction or input you give to an AI to get your desired output. It's how you communicate with AI. Question 6. What's the key to writing better prompts? You should know this by now. Answer. Clarity. Be specific, be structured, and be intentional. The better the prompt, the better the result. Question 7. Can you give one example of a bad prompt and a good one? Quick, think. Answer. Bad. Write an email. Good. Write a polite follow-up email to a client who hasn't responded in 3 days. Question 8. Why is it important to use generative AI responsibly? Why does it matter? Answer: because with great power comes great responsibility. Misuse can lead to misinformation, bias, or harm. Ethical use ensures AI helps, not harms, humanity. That's it. How many did you get right? Whether it's all or just a few, the journey has just begun. Keep learning, keep prompting, and keep creating with purpose. This is Qasberry, and we're just getting started.